Hi, so last time I came to KECO, did I say that right? KECO?
Yeah, KECO. Yeah.
Right, last time I came to KECO, I didn't actually manage to catch up with Colin. So this time I'm going to chat to Colin. And Colin, what is your job here?
My official job is training manager. So obviously I'm in charge of all the trainees that come in for foundation course, glue courses and IMIs on the EV and on the PDR as well.
So Colin's going to take us through this kit and give us a little bit more information about it. Right, Colin, what have we got here?
Right, so what we've got here, this is the KECO Level 2 glue pull kit.
Sorry, Level 2, what's the difference between this and Level 1 then?
So Level 1 basically has slightly fewer tools on it. What this has is everything that's kind of got for more of your body shop environment.
Okay.
The Level 1 is kind of like your smart repair or mobile technician style of kit, where we don't quite need all of the big large equipment. Being most comprehensive, obviously it's got everything you'd need for all levels of work on this particular one. So as you can see, we've got the big beams, we've got the K-bar as well, and obviously junior, robo lifter, and the feet, hammers, and various tabs going from our very large super tabs.
And what would we use that very large super tab for?
So on this particular style, on these are called centipedes.
Okay.
So we're talking kind of straight crease style damage. Obviously you can see by the actual footprint, we can see the level of size that we can actually do with this particular one. Obviously if we go on to this one, obviously we've got more oval. Yeah,
and I have got those in the Smart Kit, the Pro Smart Kit, so I've got a couple of those.
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to use them yet, but I am really looking forward to it.
Sure.
What else have we got here?
So obviously, in between, obviously you can see we've got solids and we've got things like flexible. Okay. So these ones bends. So this is when you've actually got curved and contoured dents and panels where you can actually mold this into the shape that you need.
So what would you use for that? What sort of tool would you use on that puller?
These particular ones, obviously you'd need these collar adaptations. They come in various sizes depending on what kind of level of pull you would need.
Okay.
These can actually adapt onto the actual slide hammer itself, just screws onto the end.
Right.
It also goes onto the K-beam, K-beam Junior, and also the K-bar.
I actually really love those two tools, the K-bar and the K-beam. I have both of them.
Yeah,
I found them really.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I mean that K-bar, sorry, the K-beam. I took a dent out on a sill on a transporter, and it just works super.
It's just so nice, isn't it? I mean, to give you an idea, if we was to take a 1-inch centipede tab like this with the actual K-bar, the K-beam, you can actually get up to 1.5 tons of pressure pulling on that glue tab.
Just on that?
Yes, with the collision
Cam
Auto
that's the one
glue.
I've got. Yes, I've got that.
There's videos online where Cam Auto is doing some development on the actual glue itself. They've actually glued a tab like this onto a door of a car and with a forklift pulled the door skin completely off the vehicle. So super strong. Yeah, super strong.
But it's really all about getting the temperature of that glue right, isn't it?
Yes,
because
correct.
This is something that you might have seen in one of my other videos. I've actually struggled with a bit of temperature of the glues coming off or the glue's gone brittle. But it's not an issue with the glue. It's an issue with myself and the way that I process that I'm using.
Yeah, it's all about processes. Obviously, KECO's developed something that's called the 6 C's. It's just basically a process to follow that helps you kind of get that bond every single time. Within that, there's some temperatures. So actual glue guns themselves, a lot of people when they're buying glue guns, they don't really look into the specification of what kind of heat they go up to.
Yeah.
The ones that we actually do here at KECO, they're developed to do PDR and glue pull repair. So they're actually rated up to 195 degrees, which is that kind of sweet spot where we need glue to be. When you actually pump the glue out, you need it to smoke. If it's not smoking, it's not quite hot enough. On top of that, obviously, we've then got our ambient temperature and panel temperatures as well. Again, quite well overlooked. Obviously, if we get our panel temperatures just right, it makes sure all condensation and moisture is off the panel. and then that glue can bond a lot better. And there's also the temperatures at what you pull at. A lot of people will either pull too early, in which case you'll get what's called a wet pull, or you leave it on too long because you might be doing other things, and then when you pull it, it just breaks off, and it's a bit like glass.
Yes.
And that's just crystallising because it's just gone too cold. So we kind of find on steel panels, a kind of like a 22 to 25 degree pulling temperature is good, and on aluminium 25 to 30. So if you can keep those kind of processes and those temperatures, you're going to get more results out of these things as well.
And do you have a favourite? Is there one tool or tab or something on this trolley or cart that is your favourite?
I don't like saying favourites. Being that I'm predominantly a PDR technician, the tool that I use the most, and it probably surprised a few people, is the Robo Lifter. This was something that I use daily. The reason I generally use this with these style of tabs, the kind of the dead centers and the kind of the common style tabs you see as a PDR technician, is I've got so much more control with these. If we're using a slide hammer, it's a very aggressive tool. It can break your tabs, it can over pull the panel, potentially stretching it. Whereas with this, I've got full control. I can denote how much pressure I'm pushing on that. And then I can make sure I get it just where I need it to be. Certainly when you're on vehicles where the paint might not be factory, and I don't want to go in with a slide hammer, it's potentially going to take the paint off. At least with this, I've got more of a chance to gently coax the dent out, and that's why
I actually really like that tool.
They're great.
I have bought some other lifters before in the past, but it wasn't until I got this KECO mini lifter that I actually appreciated how good it is. Just the mechanism, the build of it.
Exactly.
It's not cheap. We're not going to beat around the bush. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap, but it's a good investment because it just makes you more efficient.
Exactly. It is. You pay for what you get, and that's clearly proved with the KECO products.
For definite. And like I say, I mean the addition of like the precision foot that goes onto the actual Robo Lifter.
I haven't got that. I'll have to add that.
I say, certainly when I started coming down to like the 5mm sort of like tabs, these are very, very small.
So let's just stop you there a moment, because this 5mm tab, a lot of people are going to look at that and they're going to say, there is no way on earth that tab is going to pull anything. Now. True.
If you're not using these to the correct manner, they won't pull. A lot of people decide to go in with very small sharp dents with this straight away. What you've got to be thinking of is that the metal, when it's into a sharp dent, it's very, very strong. What these are really for is that kind of final finishing kind of perfection pull, where we want something that's nice and shallow so it can actually pull the center and lift up. What a lot of technicians that come in that I see that come in for extra training with this kind of stuff, they don't actually look around the outside of the dent itself, and what happens at the outside of the dent is ever so slightly high, which makes the dent even stronger. So making sure everything's flat, maybe just gently a slightly rolled edge that's kind of going in rather than over and out. These will actually work a lot better. And by using something like a precision foot, by holding the actual material down around the tab, we can actually focus this pull a lot finer.
Can you just quickly show us how that fits onto the mini lifter for those who don't know, please?
So a good thing with anything with KECO, obviously all of their feet systems are interchangeable. They're very simple to do. Obviously they just literally pop off, and we take the actual precision feet, pop it on, and we're done.
So just spin that, hold up that way, that's it. So there we go. So you can see how easy it is to swap parts over and the feet over. And there you have the precision pull, because it is actually concentrating the pull into the center, which is what you just said.
That's correct. Also, you can use what they call the crease killer feet. So these ones here. Now, obviously, these come standard on this, which is the K-Beam Junior. Obviously, if we look at the feet, you've got a long side and a short side.
Let me just do, so what we're looking at here, if I can get this into the picture, so you can see how there's quite an overhang on the right-hand side compared to the left-hand side on this.
That's correct. So what we can do is we can actually, we get them both around the same way. When we adjust these feet...
let's just show show everyone that, because that's something that somebody might not realise.
Yeah.
So on the top of this tool, there are these two blue sections.
That's it. So they just basically lock the actual anchors into position.
So you can slide the feet up and down the bar to whatever width that you want to be putting out.
Yeah. And then what we do, if we've actually got quite a thin tab, so if we had, say for instance, a 7mm tab on our panel, if we want to focus the pull right into the centre of this, what we can do is actually put the feet close together. If I spin that out.
I'll just come out a little bit so people can see that. Maybe we could put it on this table.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come around.
So obviously we'd put a collar adaptation on the actual bottom of this centre shaft.
This is just the demo to you guys what's possible.
So if we actually had this on the panel, for instance like so, what we can do is we can come in nice and close, effectively pinching either side of that actual tab itself.
Yep.
And now when we pull on this, it's only going to pull from the centre of this, because these feet are going to hold the actual side of the dent down.
So just to take you in, you can see how close that comes in onto the tab, so that when you're pulling actually onto a dent, you're going to be pulling the crease rather than the metalwork around it.
That's correct, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Colin, for your time.
No problem at all.
It was good to finally get to do this with you. And I hope you've all enjoyed the little introduction into what you get on the Level 2 car kit.
Cool. Thank you.